So, I mean, personally, I'm not convinced to go out and buy a compressor and stuff like that to go with it, unless I was going for the full system with the concrete nailer and all that kind of stuff, and I haven't really needed a concrete nailer for a while either. So, yeah, apart from having used it, that's just where I stand at the moment. I guess my mind could be changed the moment I pick it up and start shooting with it. James Builder, what's the best way to find new clients? Well, okay, I'll just... Oh, what's going on? Are we back? I think we're back. Okay, sorry about that. Yep, okay, I'll jump back to that question because that's a really good one. But also, it could be a little bit boring for some people, but it's a good question. Just saying, hey to Finn, Hales 5656, how's the Naki? Cam Palmer, got Finn Forsyth, tips for bracing frames after standing them. You're an apprentice, okay, we'll come back to that. JCR Stevens, what's the best way to start out on your own? Yep, I've got some answers for that. Home on Zero, Jack Palin, Stephanus Graham, we've got a carpenter from Sydney working on some fire doors and steel jams today. Nice. Fire doors always remind me of, they just make me think heavy. So, especially with steel jams. Hope there's more than one of you handling them. I'm sure there will be. Okay, let's dial back to James. We've got, what's the best way to find new clients? Okay, there's a few different ways. In your situation, James, at the moment you're a bit of a one-man band. Definitely check out Builder's Crack. It's not that great in Nelson. Some of the jobs that come through are pretty lame, but I'm expecting where you're based that there would be a bit more of a variety. So that's one way to find clients. Later down the track, invest in a website as well. Social media is probably one of the biggest and best ways to get new clients if you leverage it correctly. So you want to do is set up a Facebook page if you haven't already. Have a lot of photos and videos even of the work that you've done, and a little bit about yourself. So people are going to be deciding whether they, whether they like you, whether you can do the job, and whether they can trust you, all that kind of stuff. So when you're putting that out there, you're trying to communicate that stuff, that they can trust you, that they can like, that they will like you, and that you are capable of doing the job. And so what you want to think of is like the why. So why would they want to use you? So that's those things like whether you're like whatever the benefits are of using you as a builder to do the work. And that's always that features and benefits. It's something I learned last year is you can put all the features, so all the things that you think are reasons why a client should pick you, but then the benefits are what's the benefit to the client, so what's in it for them, kind of thing. So that's what you want to put in anything that you like any Facebook page or anything like that you put out there. So yeah, Facebook, website, and Builder's Crack is good. On Facebook as well, you don't have to limit it to just your page. You can jump in on different community pages. I know there's a lot of buy-selling type pages, so you can put your info out there. The other one is referral work. So a lot of my main jobs have actually come through word of mouth. And what we do is we actually have a like a referral rewards kind of thing for people. So if they find us work, then we'll give them some sort of reward for that. So that means that they're probably a bit more motivated to do that. So then you can also help them to sell your services by making sure that people know exactly what it is that you do. So if you specialize in renovating like colonial houses or like full renovations, or if you're more just a handyman like doing small areas, then make sure people know that, so that it's more specific and the word gets around more directly. So I guess that's a condensed version of what's the way to find new clients, and then from there you got to know how to how to manage your clients or your new clients coming in, whether they're the right clients to work for and all that kind of thing. But hey, that's a whole different I guess that's a whole other topic. But before I get onto that, I'll shoot through to the next questions, and if someone asks a question about that, then maybe I'll answer that. So before I answer these questions, just going to zoom quickly down, just say, Hales, yeah, it's all good, eh? Raining though? Yeah, it's a bit muggy here, pretty high humidity, quite warm, about 20 degrees. It felt like it got really dark early, but it's just because there's quite a thick layer of cloud bit threatening, and it was supposed to be raining already, but it's not. We've got Cat Tools, we've got a hunter called Tim, we've got D-Builder, my man, how you doing? JDG Constructions, D-Builder, Tom French, Lynn River, 1969's here, HD Builds, BMLB, I wonder if that means Melbourne, Manil Bava, James Builder, awesome mate, cheers mate, great info, JW Joinery, Building UK, Will 91. I'm just quickly going through names because I'm just acknowledging that you guys are taking the time to jump on and have a look at this. Told the trade. Alright, I'm going to go back up and back to these other questions up here, and I'll catch up with the rest of those that are jumping on board and commenting. So we were on James's question. Righto, here we go. Tips for bracing frames after standing them. Okay, so my method is get them all standing and locked up. You want to, like anything, you want to find your place that you're starting. So whether it's an outside wall or a middle wall, you want to pick one that's going to be where you start. So you don't want to go around chasing your tail. So you want to start like a good corner, say back corner of the house. Let's start there. All right, we've got the frame standing, back corners in. We've got a few wing frames coming off them, holding them stable. So what you're going to do is you're going to brace up that corner first, and you're going to lock that in. So whatever timber you've got on site, you're going to nail that in as a brace, screw it, nail it, whatever. Everyone's got their different preferences. I used to use a plumb bob, normal plumb bob. I've got a laser now, and I'm still contemplating using the normal plumb bob, but anyway, preferences. So you got that corner locked up, and then you got a diagonal brace coming down the inside of that corner, both sides, so that corner's plumb. Now what happens is if your frames have been built correctly, or the frames adding on, down the other corner you should be plumb. So you don't really need to brace that other corner, but what you're going to need to do is when you bring in the other frame in the other corner, you're going to have to brace that one and plumb that up. So you basically work your way around. You could lock up the whole exterior of the building if you want to first. Then any of the wing walls that are going up against adjacent walls, that's where you want to brace them up. But instead of using a plumb bob, what I do is I'll run a string line from those two corners that I've set up. So those two corners, like I said, they're braced diagonally both ways, they're plumb, they're locked in. So I'll put a string line from corner to corner, and when I go to this middle wall, for instance, and to the adjacent wall, which is the outside wall, I will brace it up, and I will move it so that that top end, like where the wall is at that top end, is in line with the string. I hope that makes sense, and that's how I'll do it. Then if there's a big distance between each wall, and I have to brace in between, then I'll just fix a timber brace going up to that and move that into position. Once it's all locked in and front and braced up, obviously I forgot to mention, you're talking about bracing, but I forgot to mention, make sure your bottom plates are all straight first. So everything's square and straight and pinned down first. So make sure that bottom plate's first. It's all sequences. You don't want to be chasing your tail, so you want to get that bottom plate in line, squared, pinged in. Then you work your way up. Then you're getting the tops braced up, plumb, and those lines of walls straight at the top. Once that's done, I know some guys get their frames with the top plate fixed already. I like to get my frames with where I fix the top plate, so I can overlap, and I can, if I feel that there's a bit of a curve in the top of the plate, I can put a double top plate. I can put that on the counteracting bow, things like that. So that's roughly how I go. So hopefully that's helpful for you, mate, and well done. Smash it out in your apprenticeship, buddy. Go hard. JCR Stevens, what's the best way to start out on your own, start your own building company? So I'm quickly going to come back to that. I'm just going to race down the comments again. Just going to make sure I don't push the wrong buttons. It's always a bit nerve-wracking. So here we go. Electrical Test Tech, how you doing? Righto Building. Good morning. Yep, it's evening here. We are just after 9 p.m. here. JW Joinery has been doing paperwork. Paperwork, how you manage it with work home life. Okay, I'll come to that in a second. My wife's there. Hey, Juanita Rose. McKendry Built, Tim Robert Shaw, Hales. What droppy you got behind you there? That is the Flex Volt dual battery saw. I'll talk about that in a minute. Cool, so we've got Tradie Gal, Hugh Weber, Frame Builders, Mod Builders, Finn Forsyth, Sweet Bro, helped heaps, thank you. No worries, man. Post up in your stories or something, or send me some DMs when you're doing it, and show me give me some feedback on, how you're doing it. So guys, those that have just jumped on, if you have any questions, random stuff, yeah, I'll answer some random stuff, but throw them in the comments. Also, there's down here is like a little I think there's a little question button. You can ask your question in there. Helps me not have to scroll backwards and forwards, because I'm trying to keep a good flow this time. That's my my New Year's resolution for live Q&As. Keep a good flow. And so I'm going to scroll back up. Also, let me know what you've been doing. What jobs you're on today. If you're in the trades, let me know what you're up to. If you're not in a trade, let me know what it is that you actually do. I know since the last live Q&A, there's at least 300 plus people that have joined on and started following, and yeah, it's really hard to keep up with who's who. So just hit me up, DM me, whatever, and you know, I'm all about the community on this. I appreciate all the DMs and the comments that I get from people. I love the interaction. It's really cool. So just swinging back to right, here we go. What's the best way to start out on your own and start your own building company? First of all, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a stretch, and if you can do it incrementally, try and do it incrementally. I left the company I worked for 10 years. I left them and I went to a little bit of contracting to some other builders or another builder, and helped them build a couple of houses. And then I started pulling in my own little jobs. Now, what I found was difficult was getting the right kind of information from people on how to actually run a building business, because there's a whole lot more to running a building business than there is compared to turning up on site and hammering nails. I mean, you've got to deal with clients, you've got to deal with workers if you have workers. I mean, you're managing your subbies anyway on site, but you're still having to do that from the pricing stage. You've got your health and safety to deal with. So what I've decided is, whenever I get asked this question, because I actually get asked this question a lot, my key points, broad points, you don't have to do it exactly like this, but this is what's really, in the past about 4 years I think it is that I've been out on my own, these are the things that have really made a difference. This is where my business picked up and actually became what I was joking with my brother-in-law on Friday, that I feel like we've cracked it finally, like we can call ourselves a business. And so you got to have money in the bank. So I reckon you're going to want about 20k in the bank. If you properly go out on your own, you need 20k cash. That's going to cover you when there's some downtime while you're trying to get yourself set up. It's going to cover you for any plant and equipment that you need to bring in because you don't have. Yeah, you really need 20k. And then with that 20k, what I recommend you do is, if you're in New Zealand and I think Australia, I'm not sure, I think they're expanding globally with this, but a year ago I did the Red QS, so they're on Instagram, so they're at Red QS. I did their one-day workshop, and with that workshop I learned how to approach the whole thing with pricing. So I mean, I'm not sure, I'm not 100%. Oh, so yeah, your question is building company, so that's cool. Just had to clarify, because if you're just wanting how do you start a business, I mean, pricing house builds is probably not a big thing for you if you're not in a building business. So yeah, so you want to price properly, and that really gave me, I didn't necessarily learn everything perfectly on the day, but it got my mindset shifted, and the tools to use to learn from there and to apply, because at the end of the day, you're always going to learn more when you apply it. So from that moment, I learned basically how I wanted to price my jobs, how I wanted to put my margin in, how to recover my margin, how to cover my overheads, everything like that, because that's massive. You're in business because you know, I mean, for a lot of reasons, but at the end of the day, the thing common with all businesses and success in business is having the finances right. I don't think there's I mean, I'm going off the top of my head here, but I don't think there's anything else that's more important for any business, having the finances right. And the finances come from pricing your jobs right. You can't really get the finance from everywhere else, you know, from other things. Sometimes you can, but at the end of the day, it's going to be how you price that job for the client is how your business is going to make money. So definitely do something like that. Invest money into learning the things that you need to learn. And second to that is, 8 months ago, I think it was, we signed up for the Professional Builder. So they're based here in New Zealand, but I think they do work globally. And what's that like with that? That's been there's a fair amount of financial investment in that. But like I said, you want 20k. 20k is definitely going to cover that, and your red QS thing, and paying yourself for those few weeks possibly where you're trying to get the work getting things started. So definitely you want to do some kind of, I think, official business coaching. There's always advice you get from friends or advice you get from people, but it never really pieces together, and you spend a lot of time trying to piece it together. That's my experience anyway. Some people might be surrounded by some really amazing business people that know everything. I wasn't necessarily. So by paying for specific coaching, it meant that there was a start point, and then there's an A to B, then there's a B to C, and then there's a C to D, and then there's a back to the B again, and there's actually intertwined application of things that you learn and as you go. So it's totally changed the face of my business in the last 8 months. It means that I know how to price, so therefore I know how to sell that price to a client. I know how to a whole lot of stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go too much on this specific topic because I'm trying to jump between a few things. But definitely, if you want to know more about the professional builder, hit me up, and I can just share my experiences with it. It's definitely made business so much easier for me. Like I said, I feel like we've finally cracked it. So early days, like there's still so much to learn, and I feel like we're kind of got past that real like testing time where it felt like it wasn't working. Well, not that it felt like it wasn't working. That it just felt really hard slog. And now we've kind of like, right, we've actually established something, and now it's got momentum. I think that's the word I was looking for. It's got momentum now. So yeah, there are some of the things, and you just got to go with your gut too. Even though some of these things, like doing that pricing course, having the business coaching, what I found is that protected me from making the wrong choices for certain clients. So not every client's going to be the right client for you. I said that before to James. You don't want to sign up to a job where the client's just not the right fit. So that becomes a big thing. Also, one of the things that I did was what's called like a stop doing list. So what are the things that you're actually doing that you shouldn't be doing because they're taking you away from the things that you should be, which is like your skill set and your specific skill set to grow your business. So like like going and getting materials for the job, like jumping in a van, going and getting materials. I mean, I still do that, yeah, okay, but not as much. So what you want to do is you want to create a list of the things that you really need to stop doing so that you can step forward and grow and lead your business, and then open up space to actually bring people on board and employ. So once you've got a list of things that you've got to stop doing because you've got way too much stuff to do, and once you stop doing those, it means you can do this, this, and this, which is going to grow your business. So then you've got a job description for someone that you can employ. Say, well, I've got a full-time job for you here. Come on in, I'll pay you to do that, and I'll go and do these things, and I'll get paid even more doing that. Or widen the scope of the type of work that you can do. So yeah, there's so many things like that, but a lot of this mentality that I've learnt is really come from my connection to Red QS and Professional Builder. They've been really good. And also your mentality. Definitely you've got to, like I've definitely changed in the past 12 months when it comes to mental stamina, massively. So if you go through my feed on my Instagram page, have a look at the Tradio podcast and have a listen, and you'll know, if you haven't seen that or if you don't know anything about that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, and those that have seen it, you'll know definitely what I'm talking about. So definitely the mental strength thing. So at the moment, what I've been reading, the books by Jocko Willink, ex-Navy SEAL commander, all this sort of stuff. But he's done a leadership book, and wow, just blew my mind. But then also reading the second book in the series and also listening to the podcast, it's really like I'm listening to it while I'm working, and what it's doing is when you listen to stuff, like it really goes in. Like you can, for me, reading, I miss lines, I miss pages, but to have someone sitting there talking to you and actually telling you their experiences and their practical experiences and that kind of thing, it really goes into your head, and I really feel that's really improving my mentality and that kind of stuff. So yeah, you really got to, you got to invest money, you got to invest time, but you've got to invest in yourself first. So you know, I heard it said oh, anyway, I can't remember what I was saying. What was said? What I'm trying to say is, however you are will carry into your business. So you've got to make sure that you know, where there's like flaws in your character and weaknesses in your character, you got to work to your strengths, but you also got to help bring your weaknesses up as well. So yeah, there's a lot of soul searching as you go when you're in business. So hopefully it helps, man. It's yeah, pretty long form answer of what I usually answer there. So just quickly race down because a few people jumping on, jumping off. What have we got? James Builder on the crate. Oh, man, Instagram really needs to like open up the desktop for desktop computers for doing live streams. It'll be so much better. Instead of having to try and scroll through this. Alright, so JW Joinery asked before paperwork, how I manage it with work and home life. So I'll just scroll down for a sec. I'll come back. So what have we got here? Jester M Gaming DB Build. Hey mate, Red QS is here. They probably heard me talking about Red QS. And look, thanks for the shout out, Chris. Wow, that was brilliant timing. So there you go. It wasn't planned. It was just genuine. From in here, I am in so much. I have so much gratitude that they decided to actually run a course to train builders rather than just asking builders to pay them to do the quantity surveying for them. I think that's a really really brilliant thing, and they're motivated to help builders succeed. So yeah, I'm 100% helping out. Oh, not helping out. 100% behind what they're doing. Chippy Sam, hey mate. Nick Soira, Horror Construction, Yanni Mon, Mr. Tiao, Brands, Black Media, Blueskin Build, Ethan Fairwiener, Brands, hey bro, MV Chant, hey, Eva's Building Adventures, and Red QS, that's what makes your shout out special. Thank you. Yeah. Got to be genuine around here. There's no yeah, got to be genuine. Got to keep it real, eh? We're all in this together. We're all doing the grind. Okay. Paperwork, how you manage it with work home life. So not that great. Still a lot of room for improvement there. Hang on, I'm kind of blurry. Don't know, that might help. Yeah, a lot of room for improvement, but the biggest thing is actually having a structure in your week. So you set aside time where at that specific time is going to be the time that I do my paperwork, and also what paperwork are you going to be doing, because there's all sorts of different types, and whether you have to be doing it every day. There might be things you have to do every day, so like filling out a timesheet is something you want to do every day. Maybe once a week is a client update bit of paperwork, so you know, maybe once every week or once every fortnight you want to do a bit of back costing for the job that you're working on. So what you want to look at is, what is the paperwork that you're doing? Actually, like I said before about the stop doing list, write a list of all the different paperwork that you do, and I probably need to do an update on this, but write down everything that you do like that, and look at all the things that are the things that only you can do, and then look at the things that someone else can do. So if you've got staff, if you've got a spouse that's working with you in the business, have a look at the things that they can do. So this year, it did my head in emails. Absolutely hate doing emails now. DMs, a bit different. They're more personal, so that's a bit easier for me to just and type something. But they are getting a little bit shorter and to the point, because I'm getting better at writing them and communicating better. But also I'm getting a lot more of them. So if you feel like I do a really short reply, or if I only like a reaction that you do to my story, I've genuinely, actually, that's my genuine feeling when I like it. I like that you acknowledge that. It's just that I'm really busy, and unless there's a reason to have a conversation, then I won't initiate a conversation so much. Maybe sometimes, but just roll with me on that one. It's getting busy on here. So emails. I asked Juanita if she can take over quite a lot of my emails. So what she does now is she's got access to all my email accounts, which she didn't have before. She's got her own work that she does as well, but this is a big change for her. So so now she's actually up with the play. An email comes in, she sees it. She's actually, I think she's filtered some of them now. She's got rid of some of the junk ones that are coming in. And so she knows. So straight away, it's like, oh, I got that invoice from such and such. Yeah, I saw that. So it's like she's seeing the flow of the job now. I'm getting her to do a lot of the communication with clients. So if I'm hammering away trying to get a job done, building, I'm getting emailing subbies, this kind of thing, very job specific. And then I get a client come in and they want, I guess, some answers about how things are going leading up to their project. I'm really not in the headspace for it. And so what happens is I tend to just put it to the side, and this has been a bit of a flaw. And the reason why I pass some emails on is just put it to the side a little bit. So I might just say, hey, I'll catch up soon. And it takes me ages to catch up. So what Juanita's going to do is she's actually going to sit there and, I guess, communicate with them and give me the feedback and ask me to answer. And I might be sitting there, I just give her an answer so then she can write the email or things like that. So, yeah, delegating is huge for managing paperwork. Otherwise, you just have to set the time. Like I said, write down what it is that you're going to do. Say that's once a week, that's every day, that's once a month, and then put in your diary that every day at. So if it's a daily thing, every day at. So if timesheet, that's easy. Every day when you get in your vehicle, you fill out your timesheet. That's what you do. If it's a like anything to do with the job, if you have to do every day, then make it 9 a.m. every day is when you stop and you do such and such. Or with emails too, something is you can turn around and say, at this time every day is when I will reply to emails. So you get a bunch of emails, and then throughout the morning, throughout the afternoon, so maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when you reply to emails. Or you delegate them off. You say, hey, Juanita, can you sort those emails out? I'll take care of these two. Just so that you're not jumping and scatterbraining everywhere. I think what I try to do is focus on what I'm doing for an hour or so in front of me. I don't want to get distracted from it because I can really focus on that. It's a bit tricky at the moment because I used to have a smartwatch, brilliant things. When I'm working away, get a message or whatever, an email come in, and I can just look at my watch. I can check that email later, or message is not critical, I can check it later, and I can carry on. But then if it's something I really need to know on the spot and I've been waiting for a reply, sweet, grab my phone out, open it up, go through, and there I'm on my phone for the next 2-3 minutes. But yeah, I don't have my smartwatch, it broke. I'm looking for another one, and I've been noticing at work. My phone just constantly keeps going off, and I'm like, oh, do I check it? Oh, and I look and it's like, oh, it's not that important. And yeah, it just slows me down. So yeah, hopefully that helps, mate. It's bit of a broad answer, but it might get you thinking. Have a go with some of that stuff. Give me some feedback, and even some of the ideas that you've figured out for yourself as well, just from the conversation now might have triggered something. Alright, so Hales, what dropper you got behind you and the thoughts on it? So I'm just going to swing down a little bit here because there's a bit of so we've got Blue Skin Builds, got a question there. Do you always pay for a QS when pricing a job, even if it's not guaranteed work? I'll mention a couple of things about that, and it'll be based on a little bit of what I did learn from Red QS on that one. JW Joinery, thanks mate. Keanu Troy, JW Joinery, yep, I agree, I have 3 kids, I try to, and I agree, easier said than done. Yep, I know, and I've got a 3rd one coming in a couple of months' time, so yeah, it's just going to get more chaotic. I'm hoping when I bring someone else on, there's a potential of bringing someone else on top of that as well, that I can actually break away during the day and say, right, 1 hour a week or whatever to really knuckle in and do certain work, especially with pricing. Pricing's one that I really need to allow more time for. Don't worry, Hales, I'm coming back to your question. Jabadree, yes, communication is key with clients. Yep, absolutely. And I personally thought it was good communication because I said to them, hey, I'll catch up, just really busy at the moment. But in that scenario, I hadn't communicated quite enough or quite clearly, because I thought I had. Juanita looked at my email and she's like, that wasn't very good. So I'm like, okay, you take care of the emails. Sweet. we're all learning. We're figuring it out as we go. So I'm just going to swing back to Hale's question about the the drop saw. I don't actually need to go all the way back because I know what the question is. So I've got the flex fold miter saw here and a really antique looking drill press there. It's a good saw. It's the what would you say? Same as the electric version. The actual body itself and everything. The only thing that's different is the motor unit, because it takes 2 batteries. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see me do a cutting test to see how many cuts I can get out of one charge. But it's really good because I have just about got there with a cordless job site. I haven't. It comes with an adapter to plug into power, but I haven't needed to use it. So it's a really good saw anyway, like that model or that style, and it's just an added bonus having it in battery powered. Oh, we're back. Yeah, just a bonus having it as battery powered. Okay, so Blue Skin Bill, do you always pay for a QS when pricing a job, even if it's not guaranteed work? So this is sort of along the lines of what I've learned in the past year with paying for a QS. So I haven't actually outright paid for a QS yet because the jobs haven't really needed it through my supplier. They do the takeoffs and I had the time to sit down and check it and work with the software, which is build a price, FYI, build a price for what I was doing. Definitely contemplating it for the coming year just because of time factor, but for what you got to do is you got to think of it not necessarily about paying for a QS to price a job, but you've got to look at it as the overall cost of running your business. Someone's going to have to price the job, so it's either you or someone else, and you've got to look at the value of your time sitting there trying to price a job, as opposed to because like with that question, would you price a job if it's not guaranteed work? Possibly would. So even though it may not necessarily be tangible money wise that your time has been spent, like it's not necessarily money going out of your pocket, it's money where it's time where you haven't been earning money doing something else. So you need to think of it as saying, like, right, in a year, how many hours do I spend pricing jobs? Okay, it's about, I don't know, I spend 6 or 7 weeks in a year pricing jobs. I mean, just off the top of my head. Should make it 10. 10 weeks pricing jobs. Then you've got to look at the time and the monetary time of that time of 10 weeks of your time, and you're going to say, so 10 weeks, let's say it's $1,000 a week. I know that's probably way off, but I'm trying to keep the numbers easy to do maths top of my head. If you stole my stories today, I got quite confusing on that one. So 10 times 1,000 is $10,000. So it could be $10,000 a year you spend on pricing jobs when you do it yourself. Now, out of those jobs, say there's you only get half of them, for instance. So that's still going to cost you $10,000 no matter what, because you price every single one of them. So you got to look at it like, right, is my budget for overheads every year is, say, like I'm getting there, I'm going to be working towards this, but say it's 10 grand for you to do that. That's obviously not quite enough to do that amount of pricing, but just for example's sake, 10 grand is a good that number that it takes you is a good number to say, right, well, what's it going to cost to hire a QS to do job by job basis. Now, they don't necessarily have to do every job. If you're in New Zealand, then a lot of the merchants do offer a takeoff service. There is risks involved with that because it's free, so somewhere there's going to be savings made. So you've still got to spend a bit of time on that. But then you're looking to say, well, okay, maybe for 5 of the jobs I'll get the QS, the ones that are a little bit more likely to be priced. But then you can make that part of your selling point as well. So hopefully that made sense. Instead of looking at it as paying per job for a QS, look at it as the overall thing. What's the yearly allowance for pricing jobs, whether it's you, whether it's a QS. And this is what Red QS said. Doesn't matter who it is, as long as they're getting paid. And especially if it's you. Like if you're spending the hours pricing, then it's probably going to be going in your overheads anyway. So you know, and if you, whatever value you have on your time, you know, and building your business, then you might get to a point where overall your hourly rate is a lot more than what you think when you add up everything that you do for your business and what your business earns on top of, and every bit of profit that you make, and you know, basically every return that you have on your business. What is your actual hourly rate? And if it's more than what it is to pay a QS, then you pay a QS, I guess. Anyway, one way of figuring it anyway. So I think that was clear. Maybe you can ask me later on. You can flick me some DMs, whatever, and I can maybe put it up in my story or something if it wasn't 100% clear. Or if we have a conversation about it in the DMs or something, and I make it clearer, then I can put that up in story. That'd be quite cool. Yeah, something like that. Yep. We've got Stevenson Kurt, Matt Helton, I think I said 8 of the others. We've got Travis Lee Construction, Luis Pont, J Titiva, Ketcher, JW Joinery, Chandler. Oh, we got CTF Builder in here, my man. How you doing? Good to see you. Caught up with Carl in person over Christmas time there. Had a cool chat, cool catch up, and yeah, really great guy. Very genuine. So you know, you see people on social media and they post their stories and they do their thing, and then you meet them in person, or you know, DM them in DMs. And then when you actually meet them in person and they're very much along the same lines of that person that you see online, I think that's really cool. That means that they're definitely being genuine. Hark Building Construction, Blue Skin Build, great points, cheers. Cool, man. Any more questions along those lines? Like, you want a bit more conversation about that, hit me up, because I also learn from conversating about it too. Like, my mind starts racing. It's racing now, thinking of ideas. Mr. TL, nail on the head with that one, bro. Awesome. That's cool. Because that's the thing, like, this is what I was saying before about tips for starting a business. See, this is advice that was given to me via Red QS, via the Professional Builder, about how to work your overheads, how to work your numbers. No one else taught me that, so you need to invest in some of that stuff, because it will help you massively. Because they're not offering that service because they just had a good idea and they want to try and shaft builders and get money out of them because they think that builders are easy targets. No, they've actually done their research. They know what works, they know what doesn't work, and they've got a whole lot of resources. And we've been absolutely blown away by the impact it's had on our business, just making things so much easier. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, we move through these phases of like, what's the big thing we're doing right now? And the big thing that we're doing right now is hiring. So we put up a hiring ad on Trade Me and on Facebook. I did some paid advertising. So I've learned a little bit from them about how to target your marketing properly on Facebook. So I targeted the local placemakers and the local Mitre 10 Mega as being some of the main places for people that would be in the know. If someone was looking for work, they'd be like, well, for some reason this random ad came up on Facebook. I don't know why it comes up. His stuff always comes up in my Facebook. What is this voodoo? But it's all planned. You know, you walk into Mitre 10, it means you're a prime target for my ad to hit you. But anyway, they'll be like, oh yeah, this guy, he's looking for someone, and I did get a couple of referrals from people that saw the ad, which was really cool, so it was effective. So that's something that we've actually, to be honest, I just passed it off on to Juanita again, so that was just something delegated. I just too much going on, I can't do it, so if I wasn't doing it, it wasn't getting done. So better to pass it on and let Juanita have a go instead of like it not getting done, because that's the other thing too, like it can be very hard to pass on things to someone else because you have a standard that you want things done by, and there's an element of trust and an element of risk passing something onto it. So when you employ a new employer, an apprentice, whatever, there's always that risk that they're not going to quite do it how you want them to do it, and that's part of your responsibility to train them and to guide them in that. But there's always that time where you're passing it on to them and they're going to learn for themselves. So I was kind of like, took my time passing that on to Juanita, but I got her to actually do all the training and all the resources that TPB offer for hiring new people. I got Juanita harder into that, so she was watching videos and she was reading resources, and she was looking at templates and making up specific stuff for us, so that we had a really robust system for hiring. So had ads go out, then when the people apply. And what I'm actually trying to do is I'm trying to get her interested in doing video editing. She's one, like most kids, she watches all these other people on YouTube, and there's some young kids that she's watching, and I'm like, in the video the kid's editing, and the kid's probably the same age as my daughter. So I said, look, I can show you how to edit. So I showed her a little bit, but I've got to do it bit by bit, otherwise it with kids, if it's boring straight away, it's very hard to get them to lock in. But who knows, I could get my daughter in the next year or so doing my editing for me on YouTube. That'd be pretty cool. So here we go, we'll keep rolling here. Yep, CTF Builder, making him blush. It's because you're just such a damn awesome fella, mate. You are a legend. I don't know. Oh, yeah, so there's only a few people online here. Anyway, tell your friends. I'm in the middle of trying to organise something on the 1st, 2nd, start of April on a Saturday. I'm going to be up in Auckland, and I thought it would be a really cool thing to organise a big hangout, an Instagram hangout. I mean, not just Instagram, but everyone that's in this Instagram thing. I know just in my follower list, 400 of you are in Auckland. Which blew me away. I was just like, wow, that's quite a big number. 400 people in Auckland follow me on the social media thing, and I thought, let's do something. Like, let's actually have an event. And I'm chasing up some people, and I'm trying to organise something. So hit me up if you're keen. I will put something out soon to gauge interest. I think I did put a little poll out, but like, we're talking about actually having something hosted, trying to get some brands there to whatever. Who knows? Could be some giveaways. I don't know. I'm just thinking massive here. But yeah, that's something I wanna do. I wanna bring everyone together for something. I wanna bring everyone together, and because like there's so many people that I know in Auckland from social media, which I'd love to hang out with and have a chat, meet in person, and it'd be cool if maybe we could just do that all in one place. I don't know. I'm working on something on that. But yeah, like I said, when I got to meet Carl for the first time in person, it was really cool, and I thought, let's just try and do something for as many people as we can up in Auckland right at the start of April there. So put something in your diary on that Saturday, first Saturday of April. There's possibly going to be something on. Zoe Harrison here, Sasha here, Hales. When am I releasing some merch? I actually got, I kind of forgot about it, but I got a price for some caps before Christmas. So yeah, I want to do something like that. Yeah, it's in the works. We've got Hilts here. How'd the piles go? They were awesome, bro. They were good. I think I added to my story that we pretty much had just enough concrete. I'm not 100% sure why we didn't have a bit left over, because we should have had enough. Because when I calculate the concrete, I don't actually take away the pile itself, and it was for pretty much the deepest pile. There was some that, I mean, I guess there were some that were a little bit deeper. So I mean, I'm not going to turn around and say that the concrete supplier cut us short. I mean, it does happen, and it's not something that that you can rule out. But yeah, I'll just add a bit more on next time. It's just one of those things. Like when you got heaps of piles, you don't want to be measuring full, like every single one of them and that kind of thing. I mean, there was some that needed a bit of digging out down low, just to make sure that the pile had enough room at the bottom, enough clearance. So that kind of thing throws it out a bit. But yeah, I was happy. I was really happy with it, and it was easy. The guy driving the pump truck, he was good. He had his offsider there, and yeah, it was just easy. It's easy. I was all ready to go half an hour before. Even if it wasn't quite ready, I still would have had time to finish off. But I mean, I started a little bit late. I had a migraine to start the day, so that wasn't great. But yeah, it was good. So tomorrow I've got to go and pick up my van. I've got a tool shed tomorrow. Dewalt rep's going to be there, so I'll enjoy swinging by and catching up with him. And yeah, so I'll probably start working on the structural braces for the piles. I thought I'll try and leave the boxing type braces that I've got on there now. I'll try and leave those on as long as I can, because I know the moment I take them all off and leave the piles, the sun will get on them and they'll just twist, and it won't be good. So I might try and replace the braces and get the bearers on as much as I can with the bracing that's on it already. Cheers Red QS, and we've got carpentry with Cam. It's not Grady's here. Matty G Williams. Seriously, this has been a very very popular, very interactive live Q&A, and it's really cool. I really appreciate that for the first live Q&A for 2020. So good. Are you going to the Places Monster Tool Sale? I had a little look. I might. I do have tools that I do like to buy. I do have that sort of added benefit where I do get supplied free tools at times, but there's always bits and pieces that don't supply, and I can't always base it off that. But yeah, I looked at the I mean, there's probably way more than on the mailer. Actually, I had to laugh because it was coming up as an ad on my stories, and first ad comes up and it's like a Milwaukee one, buy the Milwaukee tools or something, and you go in the drawer for one of the 100 stand-up paddle boards. I thought, oh man, that'd be so cool. Maybe I'll buy something Milwaukee, and I go in the drawer to win a stand-up paddle board. I'm like, man, that's so. And I'm like holding it, something that's so cool, man. Milwaukee, that's actually a really cool prize. Like, so many people would love a stand-up paddle. Wow, that's so cool. And then I swiped it to the next one. I was like, whoa, Dewalt, giving away a Ford Mustang, yeah. It just made me laugh. You had Milwaukee giving away stand-up paddle boards. That was pretty cool. And then you go to Dewalt and they just like go full hog. It's like last year when they gave away the I think it was a Dodge Ram, the Ute or the truck. And yeah, now it's the Ford Mustang. That's hardcore. But I won't be entering that competition. I just don't feel it's just the relationship I have with DeWalt. I don't think it's fair if I was to enter it and then I was to win it, so I just avoid that one. But hey, maybe the Milwaukee one. I'll go and buy something Milwaukee, and yeah, I don't know. But I actually been thinking about the Hikoki nail gun. I may look at getting that, because if I bring someone on, they're potentially going to be an apprentice, and yeah, so 2 nail guns is probably ideal. And yeah, I have seen the buy the gun and get 10 boxes of nails from the likes of NZ Fasteners, so that's an option. Also, I was going to get the auto hammer for this job, but then you buy that as bare tools, so you got to buy the batteries, you got to buy the chargers. So the nail gun's got the battery and charger, so I thought, well, why not? I do see that they've got the finishing nailer and the framing nailer, and then you can get via Redemption the auto hammer. So again, that's another option. So many options. Like, honestly, like, I think we're really spoiled for choice when it comes to power tools now. Like, in the last sort of 5 years, there's been some amazing developments, and the whole cordless thing has just really taken over. I mean, sometimes they do advertise that they sell corded tools, but a lot of brands, it just barely gets a mention now. It's all about the cordless tools, and it is cool. I mean, walking around site with a flex fold circular saw. Oh yeah, I just want to cut this brace. No cords, just walking around everywhere. So good, so good. Hiltz is a Milwaukee and a Ford fan, so he's a bit torn on that one. Get both, bro. Go on. There'll be something from each brand that you don't have, so just buy it. Just buy it. Selling the Hikoki gun near new with the Milwaukee one that just came out. Oh, yep, sweet. Yeah, well, I don't blame you. If I was on the Milwaukee platform, I wouldn't bother with the Hikoki one, just because of the platform. Not saying it's not a good gun, just because I was already on that platform. So that's why I've got the Dewalt nail gun. So got 20 seconds remaining. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining in, and the feed just disappeared and it's ended. But thank you for joining in and watching the live Q&A that I have here on the Instagrams. And yeah, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to click notifications. Support the channel. Support what I'm doing. Support the people around you. And yeah, have a good one.